Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe for more. Don't forget to click the bell if you like the video.
Friends, you have been watching my videos, and if you have noticed, we have taken one location and we have given all the detailed information about that location in all the videos. But this time, since we are heading towards a long weekend, I just wanted to club a couple of locations together. That way, if you are going for one day, you know what to do. If you are planning to stay overnight, 2 days, I want to plan 2 days for you. If you are planning to stay 2 nights overnight, then we can do some more stuff. So I put everything together as much as I can. So I hope you will enjoy the video and get all the details and get out of the house over this long weekend. In this video, we are not going big hikes. It's basically for families. If your kids are in elementary school or middle school, you can take them as well and enjoy the trips. My intention is not to climb mountains or anything, because that will be for a little bit advanced level. So even if you have toddlers, you can take them to these locations. So keeping that in mind, I have made this video, and I want to come up with a couple of things which are common. Basically, what I would encourage is, I will give you all the locations that you need to go, but after watching this video, give this homework to your kids. Ask them, hey, we are going to this place, to this place, to this place. Ask them to plan and ask them to come up with a game plan. I mean, what is the distance between the two locations and everything. That way, if you are involving your kids in the planning, tomorrow down the road, they will be able to plan their things better. They know how to plan the vacations. They will have a fair idea of what to do and what not to do. So you are providing them, you are giving them that experience, so that you, at a very early age, you are teaching them how to plan things. So very, very important is, make sure you are involving your kids in the planning. You'll give the locations to them, but ask them to plan what they are supposed to take, what they are not supposed to take, what they like, what they don't like. So you can include them in your trip. And also, especially kids or anybody, you are going in to these waterfalls and everything. Some kids may not like mosquitoes and everything. So you just buy a couple of bug repellents when you are going on a hike. The next thing is take a lot of water bottles. You will not go wrong. You go to a Costco, get a whole tray of water bottles and put it in the car. It doesn't hurt. I mean, so take plenty of water bottles, because when you are walking, they may ask for water bottles, and we don't want to fall short of it. And also take plenty of snacks, because when you're traveling with a family, you don't know when they want hungry, when they want to eat. So get a lot of snacks. You go to Costco, buy a lot of snacks, put it in the trunk. That way you can forget about the food. And then also, when you are going, try to make homemade food. That's better always, given any time. And also in these hilly areas, you may not find many restaurants. Keeping that in mind, just take some homemade foods as well. And the other thing is, basically, since it is summer, I recommend you take a hat. Wear a hat. It doesn't have to be a fancy hat. A regular hat also will be fine. But make sure you take a hat. That is one thing. And the other thing is, take a backpack. I mean, if you don't have a backpack, you don't have to buy a backpack. You can just carry a school bag. If you have 2 or 3 school bags, just put it in the trunk. That way, depending on the location, whatever stuff is needed, a couple of water bottles, couple of snacks, you take that particular for that trip. So just have some school bags when you go there, and then make sure you are wearing shoes. Usually, the more rugged the shoes, the better it is. But do not go with flip-flops. Okay, so make sure you are wearing your shoes. That is one thing. And then get some water shoes, because sometimes kids love to get into the water. So make sure you are not going into the waterfall in a barefoot. So make sure you get some water shoes as well. Okay, regular shoes, water shoes as well, because the locations are waterfalls. That is one more thing. And then wear some comfortable clothes. And then the other thing is, all these places are in the northern part of Georgia. So you will have to go through Dawsonville Outlet Mall. Many of you are aware of the Dawson Outlet Mall. So make a stop there and fill gas, fill the tank. The reason is once you go into the mountains, you may not find gas stations everywhere. There are very few gas stations and the prices are very high as well. So the last stop I would say is, take a break at Dawsonville. There's a racetrack, whatever it is. Go there, fill your tank, and then head to the mountains. And then see, each location I spend 5-6 hours, but it's up to you. Some people spend the whole day in one location. But since you are planning so many things, go at your own pace. You may want to spend a couple of hours in one place. Some place you may want to just be 1 hour. It's all, you don't have to rush. It is your family and you decide what you want to do. But go at your own pace. Don't rush. Don't say that I completed this. It's not about completion. It's more about your experience you are getting when you are going to these locations. That matters most, rather than I saw these 5 places, I saw these 10 places. It's not a tick mark. So more than the tick mark, more than anything else, keep this in mind. It is your experience with your family, what your family is experiencing. Are they enjoying the trip? That is very, very important. So make sure you go at your own pace. That is one more thing that I would suggest. And then most of the times, not many people are traveling, but if you have any outside guests coming from outside town or out of state, please take them. They will enjoy the trip. And this will be memorable for them. This will be a memorable trip for you, for your family, and for them also. So make sure if you have friends coming out of Atlanta or different states, please take them to these locations. Other thing is cash. Always carry $100 cash. $100 means take $5 bills, because there is a $5 parking lot fees in some locations. So make sure you take $5 bills. $100 is good enough. Some places there's a $5 fee for each individual. Most of the places are $5 for the whole vehicle. But take $100 with $5 bills. That is one more thing. And then all the things that I have mentioned here, what I will do is I put it in the description of the video as well. So you can have a checklist there. I will put in detail all the things that I can come up. So you can make sure you do the checklist and make sure you cover all the stuff. That way your trip will be memorable. And then the other thing that I want to suggest is go early in the morning, because most of the time, see, for me, I wake up very early in the morning. I get up early at 4 o'clock, and by the time I reach the mountains, it's around 5:30, 6 o'clock. When it's fairly in the summer, it's already daylight. So when you go so early, there will not be any people. If you have watched my videos, you will not find any people, because I go early in the morning and I come back home by noon. So the main idea is that way I'm back at home by noon and I'm with the family. And when I go in the mornings, there's nobody to disturb me. I am with the nature. I can think straight. You'll have a very peaceful and calm atmosphere when you go in the morning when there's nobody there. And also you don't have to struggle with the parking. The whole parking lot is empty. You are the first person pretty much thing. So plan accordingly, get up early and get out of the house early in the morning. That way you'll enjoy most of the parks. That is one more thing that I would suggest. And all the locations that I am giving in, go and visit that individual video as well. If you go to Basking Group channel, you will have these locations individual, where I have given in detail about the location. So you get an idea about the location that way, because in this video I cannot give the whole detail about everything. So I put that in detail video. So make sure you watch those in detail videos about that location. And then take a raincoat. Raincoat, it doesn't have to rain. Even if it drizzles, kids get uncomfortable. So it doesn't cost much also. You go to Walmart or Target, $5, you get a raincoat. It's a very, very simple and a very lightweight raincoat. It doesn't cost much. I think $3 or $4 if I remember right. So you don't have to spend much. Get raincoats and put them in your trunk. That is one more thing. And also the other thing is, check the weather before you go. If it is heavily raining, please do not go, because you will not be able to enjoy when it is heavily raining. If it's a drizzle for a couple of hours, that's fine. So most of the time it may not rain. But if you see that there's a forecast for heavy rain, please avoid those days. So check the weather before you go. And then all these locations that I am giving are pets friendly. So you can take pets. But if you are planning to stay overnight, make sure your hotel is okay with the pets. That is one thing that you may want to take care of. But if you are just going to these parks, these locations are all pet friendly, you can go, but they have to be on leash. So make sure you take the leash and take your pets along with that. And the other thing that I would suggest is take lots of pictures, because this is a memory. You may think, hey, I'm already here, you may enjoy it, but take videos and pictures. That way, when you go back home, or if you after 5 years, if you look at them, you'll have a sweet memory. So make sure you do that. And then the individual parks also have their websites. So go through the websites. Because of this COVID, the timings have changed. Some parks are closed, some parks are not closed. So make sure you go and check their individual park details as well. And I think I covered as much information as possible. But now let's go to detailed locations that we are planning to do.
On the first day, we will be seeing 5 locations, and you see that in the map here. First, we will be looking at Desoto Falls. The address and everything will be given in the job description. You go through the video, we'll give you as much details as possible. The first location is going to be Desoto Falls, and then after you complete Desoto Falls, we'll go to Hilton Creek, and after Hilton Creek, you will go to Vogel State Park, and after you complete the Vogel State Park, you will go to the Brasstown Ball, and after you see Brasstown Ball, you will just drive on the Richard Russell Scenic Highway, and then by the time it will be in the evening, basically if you are planning to stay overnight, you need to plan to book a hotel in Helen. Helen is a pretty decent town, so you get a lot of options there. So you probably will go and check in a hotel in Helen if you are planning to stay overnight. We have detailed videos for all these 5 locations in the Basking group channel. So make sure to visit all these videos separately. That way you have exact details and more information about each location before you head to these locations.
All right, let's start the trip. So on the first day, the first trip is basically we are going to Desoto Falls. This is the first place, and I have given a map of all the locations as well. In Desoto Falls, there are 2 waterfalls. One is upper waterfall and then the lower waterfall. In the lower waterfall also there are 2 falls. So you get to see 3 waterfalls if you go to Desoto waterfalls. And the upper waterfalls is basically 3/4 of a mile, and then the lower falls is basically 1/4 of a mile. Okay, and then there's a $5 parking fee. So this is about the Desoto Falls. It's a nice place. There's not much hike. You are talking about 3/4 mile or a 1/4 mile. So you get to see 3 falls, which is very beautiful. This will be your first location, Desoto Falls, and I will give you the address and everything in the description, and watch the individual video as well. Yeah, after Desoto Falls, you go to Hilton Creek, and Hilton Creek is my favorite waterfall. I'm telling you, you do not miss it, because it's a very small hike. I mean, you're talking about 1/4 of a mile, you'll go to the falls, okay? And then from the main road, you have to take a detour for 2 miles, and in that 2 miles, 1 mile is unpaved road. It's like Ghat road, unpaved road. It's fun, so it's not too far. So this is my favorite falls, and I would recommend everybody to go there. This is the second place that you need to go. It's called Hilton Creek. There are not many parking plots there, but not many people know about these falls also. So it will not be crowded. It's a very secluded place, but please do visit this. This is the second place that you need to visit after Desoto Falls. The third place that after we see Hilton Creek, the third place I would recommend is go to Vogel State Park. In Vogel State Park, there is a Trialta Falls. Of course, in Vogel State Park itself, you can spend 2 days, okay? But our intention is not to spend the thing. We want to see some places. So I would recommend go to Vogel Park. There is a $5 fee, I think, per vehicle. And then less than a mile, if you walk beside the lake, there is a Trialta waterfalls on the other side end of the lake. The moment you park the car, you'll find a lake, and then you just walk beside the lake, and at the end of the lake you will find this beautiful Trialta Falls. So please do. This is the third location that you will be visiting after the Hilton Creek. So you'll see Desoto Falls, then Hilton Creek, and then Vogel State Park, Trialta Falls. After you see the Vogel Park Trialta Falls, then we will head to Brasstown Ball. Brasstown Ball is the highest mountain in Georgia. Okay, but before we go to Brasstown Ball, on your way from the main road, you will make a steep right to the Brasstown Ball. At that corner, there is a grocery store. It's a nice place. You can get some ground nuts and boiled peanuts there, and it's a nice store. Visit that store and then get the boiled peanuts before you head to Brasstown Ball. Now, Brasstown Ball, as I said, is the highest mountain in Georgia, and then it's not a big hike, but the hike is steep. I mean, it will take a little bit time. Nothing to be worried, but it's just a little bit steep. It's around a 1/6 of a mile, but it is steep. And then the hike here is a paved road. It's not a ghat road, it's paved hike. So that is very good. And then here it is $5 per person, not vehicle. $5 per person. But if you go before 9 or after 5, you don't have to pay the fees because there will not be anybody and it's just open. So it's just a tip for you. But if you go between 9 and 5, you have to pay $5 per person. And then from the top of the mountain, Brasstown Ball, you can see 4 states. One is North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. And if you just look at it, you will not know the difference. Make sure there are notice boards, there are information boards on that, like this trail of the wall. There is information board. Look at that board, and they will say they will tell what the mountains are, and they will tell the state. So by seeing that mountain, you know that they are in North Carolina than South Carolina. Otherwise, you will feel that the mountains are beautiful, but you don't know which state and everything. So make sure on the trail, on the rim of the mountain, you will have these boards with all the details. So look at that board and look at the mountain. Then you know, okay, that is the mountain is in North Carolina, so I'm looking at North Carolina. That mountain is in South Carolina. This mountain is in Tennessee. So you get to see 4 mountains from the top of Georgia, Brasstown Ball. So make sure, and before you go to Brasstown Ball, make sure the weather is nice, because if it's cloudy, if it is windy, you'll not get to see anything. So make sure you check the weather there. And this is the next one is the last one for the day. Okay, you have seen Desoto Falls, you have seen Hilton Creek, you have seen Vogel Park, and then you have seen Brasstown Ball. You are tired, you don't want to get out of the car. So basically you are going to drive. This is called the Richard Russell Scenic Highway. So this goes from Brasstown Ball all the way to Helen. So you will be driving, which is around, I think, 23 miles. And if you add to Brasstown Ball also another 10 miles, like around 30 miles from Brasstown Ball, you will be driving, and this is a nice drive to Helen. So in these, when you are driving also, there are some locations, just get down and spend some time during these locations, and then go to Helen. And at Helen, if you are planning to stay overnight, that's where Helen would be the spot where you will book a hotel and then stay there overnight. And the next day, you can see some locations nearby Helen. So this day one, we have covered a couple of waterfalls and the highest mountain in Georgia, and then you drove the Scenic Highway, and then you checked into a lodge in Helen. So this is second day. What you can do is, second day we plan to cover 3 areas. One is the Ravencliff, and then the Dukes Creek Falls, and then Anarubi Falls. Couple of things. It depends on your family. See how their mood is. I would personally, if I would recommend going first thing in the morning to Ravencliff, because Ravencliff is a round trip is around 5.8 miles. That is little bit if you are a beginner, if you are toddlers, that is a little bit a stretch. So they can still walk, but it will take time. So usually, if I were you, I would go on Ravencliff first in the morning, because you are fresh. You can just complete it, and half day you will be done Ravencliff. Because the other two, Davis Creek and Anarubi Falls, there's not much hike. It's less than 1 mile. You can just walk and enjoy. Ravencliff, I would do the first one. Or what you can do, you can go to Anarubi Falls first also. It depends on your personal preference. But we are just doing 3 things, because Ravencliff will take half day because of the length of the hike, like 5.8 miles. Okay. So in Ravencliff, one more thing that you need to notice is, these Ravencliff falls are hidden between the rocks. You will not find them. There is a small fall before that. You think that is it. No. Just go a little bit further and make sure you to watch my video on Ravencliff, because I thought my hike was complete. I saw the falls, but no. I thought there's some more sound coming up, and then I go a little bit further. I saw these falls are hidden in between the rocks. So you need to really go a little bit up. Make sure you see my video, especially for Ravencliff. That way you won't miss the beautiful falls in between the rocks. That is one thing. And then there is a $5 fee. So just per vehicle. So take the cash when you are going. So after you see Ravencliff Falls, then you go to Dukes Creek Falls. They're not far away, very close. So Dukes Creek Falls, there's a $4 fee, and then the fall is basically 1.1 mile hike. Okay, it's not steep also. It's just a very casual walk. It's an unpaved one, but it's a casual hike to the falls. So it's a beautiful. There you'll have an observation deck there. So the maximum is 1.1 mile. Yeah, probably 1 or 2 hours you spend there, and you'll have a good time. then you go to Anarubi Falls. Anarubi Falls, basically it's a $4 per person, and then you check the timings because they have a gate. You cannot go, period. All the other areas you can go early in the morning, 6 o'clock also, because there's no gate or anything. You can go and come back. But especially Anarubi Falls, there is a gate. They close the gate, you cannot go. So you have to go between 9 and whatever time, 7 o'clock. It changes from season to season. So check their website when you are going Anarubi Falls, especially Anarubi Falls. Make sure you know the timings, because you can go to these falls only during those timings. Okay, so go there, and there is a $4 fee for every person, not vehicle. And from the visitor center to the falls, it's not a big hike, 0.4 miles, and it's paved hike, so you can just walk casually and get to the falls. But they're beautiful falls. You will enjoy the falls for sure. And then if you are going in the afternoon or late in the evenings, I came to know that there is a lot of traffic because it's a single road and there are a lot of vehicles. You will spend 1 hour going to Anarubi Falls, so plan for that, okay? Because all the cars will be backed up, especially on the weekend, especially on a long weekend. People would love to go. But if you want to do it early in the first thing in the morning, 9 o'clock, be done with it. That will be easy because not many people will be there. But if you are going later in the afternoon, be prepared. It will be like a traffic jam. I can tell you that. I have seen people tell me that they spent 1 hour getting to the falls because of bumper to bumper traffic. So that is one thing that you may want to watch out when you are going to Anarubi Falls. So after you visit the Anarubi Falls, so you can just if you are not done the first thing, you can just go and drive through the Scenic Highway and be back home. So this is what it is for the long weekend. So you book a hotel. If you want to stay 2 nights, you go to Desoto Falls, Hilton Creek, Vogel Park, the Brasstown Ball, Scenic Highway, stay overnight at Helen, and then the next day visit Ravencliff, and then you see Duke's Creek, and then Anarubi Falls, and then take a rest, and then third day wake up casually, and if you can see some downtown Helen and everything, and head back home to Atlanta. Okay, I hope this helped as much as I can. I did my best, so I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be happy if you enjoy the trip with your family or all the 3 days. You be out of the house, be with the nature, and I hope you enjoy this video.